Canadian academics support self-determination, ask direct U.S. action. Stressing on the recognition of the self-determination of Tamils as the basis for any solution to the crisis in the island of Sri Lanka, Canadian academics for Tamil rights in a press conference Wednesday in Toronto said that the proscription of the LTTE had affected the peace initiatives and Canada was a party to be blamed.
These are Sri Lanka's internment camps, where tens of thousands of Tamils who fled the war are held. As a journalist, you can't come here unless the army guides you around. But these pictures were taken independently by a cameraman for Channel 4 News who managed to get into the camps. He filmed for the first time people talking freely about life here. They wanted their identities hidden, but spoke of the thirst, the struggle that came here after the perilous trek from the front lines. One man said he's an aid worker at the camp.
Personally, I saw 4 dead bodies inside the camp, 3 women and a man. Worms came out of the mouth of one. It must have been there for 3 to 4 days. People just live with the dead bodies without doing anything. Some children were close to one. They didn't know that it was dead. People don't know who to complain to, so they just leave it. I saw mothers unable to feed their children. One asked me with tears for 2 spoons of milk powder to feed her kid, but I couldn't help her.
Stories of families separated by war and then imprisoned apart during the peace. Fathers and mothers without their children, this man looking for his parents.
There's still children here without their parents. They're living through hardship. We don't have a life here. This is a jail. We don't know who is alive and who is dead.
We learned of 2 children who died when they were caught up in a crowd that was trying to get to a food distribution truck. People were exhausted. They were only thinking about getting food, nothing else. Not even children under their feet. There's a lack of coordination and competence here. The government's only objective is to eradicate people from the areas the Tamil Tigers controlled.
The government denies these allegations and says it's mounting a huge aid effort. But another aid worker at the camp made a more serious claim. She said she believed soldiers were abducting young women and sexually abusing them.
One elderly mother was crying inside the camp. I asked why. She said they'd taken her daughter away and she hadn't heard from her at all. There were many people taken from the camps that go missing. The women are sexually abused and no one takes any action. There's no one to complain to. Nobody dares to talk. They know they're being watched. They're afraid they'll go missing.
As an immediate remedy to the grave situation at the moment, the IC and UN should take food and medicine directly to Vanni, and if not possible they should pressure the US to do it. It may look strange, but it is the only option if anyone wants to save the lives of the people in Vanni, was the opinion expressed in the press conference, citing the urgency. The press conference at Hotel Marriott Wednesday, attended by local, national and international media, was a sequence to a statement sent to the Prime Minister of Canada by the Academic Forum last week, signed by 125 academic professionals of the various universities and institutions of Canada and by prominent academic personalities. The root cause of the problem is the inability or unwillingness of the Sinhala Buddhist state to transform or restructure itself to accommodate Tamil aspirations, the speakers of the conference pointed out. The crisis is more than 60 years old. For more than 30 years the Tamils were waging a non-violent struggle. Unfortunately, the media today concentrates only on the last 30 years, was a concern of the conference speakers. Our aim in issuing this statement was to call on the Canadian government to take a stand on the situation in Sri Lanka, said Aparna Sundar, professor of political science, Ryerson University. Talking on the initiative of the Canadian academics, the largest Tamil diaspora outside of Sri Lanka is in Canada, said Professor Aiken, professor of law at Queen's University and a member of the group, adding that the fact that so many Canadian Tamils are continuing to lose family members and friends in the ongoing crisis is what prompted us as concerned Canadian academics to stand in solidarity with them. Another member of the group, Ryerson University sociology professor Alan Sayre said we have a responsibility to act in the face of the humanitarian and human rights catastrophe confronting the Tamil population of Sri Lanka. The level of mobilizations among Tamils in Toronto has been truly impressive, and they are asking for our solidarity so they do not feel they are facing this crisis alone. Sharon Aiken, professor of law, Queen's University, in her comments said while there is no doubt that the tigers must change their stripes, Canada's proscription of the LTTE in concert with the EU, the United States and a number of other countries has had the effect of further marginalizing moderate voices within the Tamil militant movement and destroying the prospects for a political solution.